Hey there, welcome back to Managing Your Business by the Numbers. Today we're diving into a topic that can be a little tricky, but it's absolutely crucial for any business. Resolving conflicts in the workplace. Disagreements between employees or even between managers and staff are bound to happen. It's just part of being human and working together. But how you handle those conflicts can make or break team dynamics, productivity, and even your company culture. Hey, look, disagreements at work are about as common as coffee breaks. The key is making sure that they don't turn into full-blown disasters. So let's talk about how to effectively resolve these conflicts and maintain a healthy working environment. So if you're ready, let's begin. Conflicts in the workplace are inevitable. The good news, most of them don't arise because people are intentionally difficult or trying to make trouble. But why do conflicts happen? Let's break it down. A lot of times, it's just a matter of communication. Maybe someone didn't understand a task or the expectations weren't clear. Example one, let's say a project manager asks a team member to submit a report by the end of the week. The employee assumes that means Friday. But the manager, maybe that person meant Thursday, leading to the frustration when the report is late. Example two, imagine an email exchange where one person reads a sentence the wrong way, and suddenly a simple request feels like a demand. Tone is hard to read over email, and people get offended over something that wasn't intended. I've seen it a lot. I mean, we've all been there. You think you're crystal clear about something, and then, boom! Someone's working off a completely different script. It's like ordering a latte and getting black coffee. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely not what you expected. In business, different departments or team members may have different priorities. For example, sales might be focused on hitting numbers quickly, while production is concerned about quality and reliability. Example one, sales might push to get product out fast to hit a monthly quota, but the production team is focused on maintaining quality and avoiding errors, which takes more time. The two departments may clash because their goals don't align. Another common situation is when marketing wants to run a big promotional campaign, but the finance department says it's not in the budget. Both departments are just doing their jobs, but they're coming from completely different perspectives. Sales wants it done yesterday, while production's more like, let's make sure it doesn't fall apart tomorrow. It's a classic tug of war, and no one's winning the prize. Sometimes it's as simple as people being, well, people. We all have different personalities and working styles. What might seem like a logical approach to one person can feel like an overly aggressive tactic to another. Example one. One employee might be direct and to the point, which could come across as rude, and especially to a more sensitive colleague who prefers a softer approach. Example two, an introverted employee might want to work quietly and independently, while an extroverted team member might prefer frequent collaboration and check-ins. This can lead to frustration if they don't respect each other's working style. Some people are straight to the point types, and others, well, they like to take the scenic route in conversations. You can imagine how those two styles can bump heads. Deadlines, stressful environments, and personal life stress can add fuel to the fire. A lot of conflict stems from frustration and not actual disagreement. Imagine two team members working under a tight deadline. The pressure might cause one to snap at the other, not because they're upset about the work itself, but because the stress is getting to them. Another example could be an employee going through a tough time at home. Maybe they're short-tempered or less patient at work because they're carrying that personal stress into the office. Now that we know why conflicts happen, let's talk about how to handle them when they do, especially from the perspective of employees. I've got a simple 3-step process that can prevent small issues from becoming major problems. Step 1. Address the issue privately and directly. This first guideline is to address the conflict directly with the other person, one-on-one. Don't start by going to your supervisor, and definitely don't let the issue simmer. Instead, have a private conversation with the other person. Example 1. Let's say 2 employees are working on the same project, but one feels like they're doing more of the work. Instead of stewing over it, they should pull the other coworker aside and have a calm discussion. Maybe it's just a misunderstanding of who's responsible for what. Example 2. Or imagine you feel like a colleague always interrupts you during meetings. Instead of venting to others or getting frustrated, it's better to talk to them privately and say something along the lines of, "Hey, I've noticed I'm getting cut off during meetings, and I think we'd communicate better if we both had time to share our own ideas." And remember, we're talking about a private, respectful conversation, not a showdown in the break room where half the office is suddenly taking their lunch early to watch the drama unfold. Step 2, take time and try again if needed. If the first conversation doesn't work, don't panic. Sometimes emotions run high, and it's hard to solve things in just one go. It's okay to take a break, let everyone cool off, and try the conversation again a little bit later. Let's say the first attempt to resolve a workplace issue doesn't go well because one person is defensive. Take a step back and try again the next day, but approach it with a fresh mindset, focusing on how to find a solution instead of assigning the blame. Or if you've talked to a colleague about being more mindful in meetings, but nothing changes right away, give it some time. Sometimes people need a second reminder or a bit of time to adjust their behavior. Step 3, involve a supervisor. That is a last resort. If your attempts to resolve things directly haven't worked, it's okay to ask for help from a supervisor. Just remember, the goal is to resolve the issue, not to win the argument. Let me share a real-life example. An employee once came to me frustrated about a coworker's behavior, and she had already spoken to the person directly. She asked me to intervene, but she also requested to stay anonymous. I told her this was not likely to work out. If she was frustrated enough to want me to step in, she needed to be mature enough to not remain anonymous. Conflict resolution requires openness, not working from the shadows. Example 2. Let's say you've tried multiple times to get on the same page with a coworker about project deadlines. Perhaps it's just not working. Now is the time to go to a supervisor for help mediating the situation. Think of it this way. Going to your supervisor first is like hitting the nuclear option before trying to fix the Wi-Fi yourself. Let's try rebooting the router before calling IT, shall we? While it's important for employees to take responsibility for resolving conflicts on their own, managers play a crucial role when issues escalate. Let's talk about how managers can approach conflict resolution to keep workplace productive and positive. First off, managers need to foster a culture where conflict isn't seen as purely negative. Conflict, when handled well, can actually lead to new ideas, better processes, and stronger relationships. Let's say 2 team members disagree about the best way to tackle a project. As a manager, Encourage them to share their perspectives openly. What might seem like a conflict could turn into a great brainstorming session, leading to a creative solution that neither had considered before. Another common situation is when two departments are clashing over priorities, like sales and production. If you create a space for respectful discussion, each department can explain their challenges and both come to a compromise that benefits the company as a whole. Now, just to be clear, we're not talking about turning your office into a debate club, but letting people express their thoughts respectfully can stop a small disagreement from turning into full-blown office drama, because nobody wants to play referee. When a conflict does come to you, it's important to remain neutral. Sometimes, though, employees just need to vent rather than have you actually intervene. I had a situation where an employee came to complain about another colleague. Based on my past interactions with her, I asked, "Do you want me to actually do something? Or do you just need to get this off your chest?" It turned out she just needed to vent, and she did not want me to take any direct action. As managers, it's important to recognize when employees need guidance and when they just need a sounding board. Effective conflict resolution often comes down to asking the right questions. Instead of assuming you know the problem, dig deeper to get to the root cause. In a conflict over missed deadlines, a good question to ask might be, what obstacles are getting in the way of meeting this deadline? This allows the team to discuss if it's an issue of resources, unclear expectations, or perhaps something else. For personality clashes, maybe ask something like, what do you need from each other to work better together? That can open the door for both parties to express their needs in a constructive way. After all, if you don't ask the right questions, you're just guessing, and nobody wants to play detective when a simple question could clear things up. Once a resolution has been reached, don't just assume the issue is over. Follow-up is key to ensuring that the solution sticks and that no lingering resentment remains. If you mediated a conversation about task delegation, check in with both employees a week later to make sure the new system is working for both. Or, after helping two employees resolve a personality conflict, you could touch base with each of them individually after a few days to see how things are going and if they feel the situation has improved. Managers who actively follow up show they care about maintaining a healthy work environment, which it goes a long way in preventing future conflicts. So to wrap it up, conflicts in the workplace are bound to happen, but they don't have to be destructive. By addressing issues early and directly, creating an open culture, and managing conflict constructively, both employees and managers can turn disagreements into opportunities for growth. Let's quickly recap the main points. For employees, address issues privately first. Take a break and try again if needed. Escalate to supervisor only as a last resort. And for managers, foster open communication. Stay neutral and guide the conversation. Follow up to ensure lasting solutions. And remember, a little conflict isn't the end of the world, unless it's over the last donut in the break room, and then all bets are off. At the end of the day, conflicts are just part of business, but with the right approach, they don't have to be a problem. I hope this guide helps you handle conflicts in a way that keeps your team productive and happy. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more tips to help you run your business by the numbers. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day.